Let's.
So I send you the setup, and today we discuss two problems. And yeah, first one, a bit about more discussion. So maybe let me share it with you. So then we have monopoly pricing like the following. So that it's cost minus network effect, and then we have to new buyers divided by new buyers minus 1. So it can be rewritten like that from our formula.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Just navigating in the material. Do I understand it correctly that like the problem the discussion we had like last lesson will continue later, and now we are starting
Yes.
like this session. Okay, got it.
Yes. So the model of aggregator is a bit complicated, so that we will continue working on it on our lecture, and then just mostly on last exercise. So yeah, and that will be main model for final exam. And today they kind of coming back right now to the previous topic. So yeah, so you can in this problem you can take that. Okay, that's the formula we are looking for. So we derived some then in exercise lecture. I forgot. Yeah, so you have buyers and sellers, and you have monopoly. So you have only one platform. So then we have costs of adding, so marginal cost from adding one buyer, and if you are thinking about buyer side, so that's the price for buyer. So then, yeah, it depends on number of sellers. So this is the network effect, right? So that remember that P it was a unit value of the seller. Yeah, and yeah, nu is some price elasticities. There was a derivative, right, of n with respect to v. So then this is the optimal rule. So that's the equation. Let's assume that in real world the platforms use that rule to impose the prices for agents, for sellers and buyers. And then the question to you is how can you explain the following the following observation. So let's say Yandex Edo, Yandex Taxi providing free coupons to buyers and charging part of sellers' revenue. That means that the platform provides free coupons for buyers, let's say taxi consumers. So if you call taxi, you can enjoy some free first trip or whatever. And that means that the platform pays for taxi drivers for this trip by themselves. So it's like platform who pays for your trip. So and what is the crucial moment why it can happen?
You mean why the platform can subsidize the users?
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
To attract more users and to fasten a network effect and actually get more profit from suppliers, in our case, from drivers.
Okay, and how it reflects our formula?
Like the more sellers there are, the less is subscription fee, but it doesn't feel like it reflects this process.
So yeah, the idea was mentioned correctly, so that then you provide some free coupons to the first trip or first order with food. You expect that the agent will then use your platform frequently or repeatedly, so that next time you will need taxi or food, you will just use Yandex Еда or Yandex Taxi, because firstly it's already installed. Yeah, and then maybe you will have some other bonuses later. So you will use this platform, and then you
Even if you don't have any additional bonuses, maybe you are not familiar with other apps, with the competitors of, I don't know, Yandex Taxi, and you will just use the platform you've already used once, just like
yeah,
habit.
you already experienced with that one, so you know where to click there, how to order it, is it fast, if the quality is good enough, so then you will just use the one which you already installed. Yeah, as well, it's always complicated to, for example, you have uh, to mention your bank card there, right? Most often. And then if you're somewhere on the street, you don't want to, open your wallet and type the number of your card on your phone. Then you are staying somewhere on the street and waiting for the taxi. So you already installed your one app, so you can just use it because everything is okay inside. So. And then you, huh?
It's all about lock-in effects.
Yeah. And then you're using the same platform, so you're providing network effects on other side, and then you are subsidized for that in price. Okay, and what about Google?
But
Uh,
still, subsidy, can we see it in this formula?
so subsidy here is that minus, right? So that you minus according then network effects on other side.
Yeah, okay. Logical.
And then B, so it's kind of similar, I guess, question. So Google provides free storage to Google account users and charging companies using Google for advertising. So how you can explain this by the formula above?
The same way. So let's consider that this n capital S multiplied by p. Um, well, if it's a network effect, as I got it, made by one additional user. In this case, platform can actually subsidize this user for the sum. Um, so it can like give a free space for this sum, but it's not free actually.
Why is it free?
Well, it's free for you, but there is no magic in it. I wanted to like emphasize
Okay.
this thing.
Yeah, so that kind of you as a user, you're subsidized by Google, so to join the platform, and then they sell your attention to advertisers, so they just gain so they shift the profits to more kind of profitable sides for them, so that they charge everything from the advertisers, because they are ready to pay for your attention, clicks, and views. Any questions here?
No, just wanted to discuss some cognitive. Okay, let's say that I'm a guy who is just using those free trials, free rides, and so on. And after that, I just, I don't know, I'm not using the platform. So if there are many of us, the subsidy will go down, right? Because um, company isn't getting the suggested effect.
Mm. So you mean if you just use the coupon, for example, and then you stop using the platform?
Yes, yes, and
Yes, so that.
and
So
I'm
it's
not.
called convergence, right? So in so it's marketology, I guess. So who is studying that? So that yeah. So then you provide some some coupons or whatever you want to see the convergence. What is the ratio of those who left on the platform?
Like, is this working or not, right? Like the percentage
Yeah.
of those who are just kind of free rider, well, not in the usual meaning, but still.
Actually, for Google, they have something like 1% or 0.5% of those who buy premium subscription after the free trial of months of premium.
But that's enough for them, isn't it?
Yeah, and much more than enough.
Yeah, okay, I see.
Even I don't know. I use 2 accounts right now because yeah, I was needed some additional space. So I just add another account, and Google is okay if I using them simultaneously in one Google Chrome. So it's because what you would expect is that if you have 2 accounts and you open them in Google Chrome, for example, it wouldn't work together. So kind of Google can figure out that you're using 2 accounts, but it's not. So you can use them, so they don't care.
So I guess it's not that critical for them. You just don't ruin their commercial plan.
Yeah. If it would bind so that it will matter, so that for sure they will do something like, because it's easy to write simple code to forbid doing this.
Yes. Okay.
And okay, by the way, welcome to a personal lesson.
Yeah, guess so.
So then let's discuss the second problem. Unless you have more questions about the first. And then we'll think about the duopoly. So from the last lecture, these huge formulas I was stuck with. So so you probably have the have the setup behind you.
You mean the second problem is like the continuation of last lecture or not?
Not today's, but last year. Then you have two platforms and you have competition.
Yeah, that's the problem we have been solving for. We had been solving for an hour, right?
Yeah. So that just because, yeah, I forgot the trick which we're supposed to use there to get the answer fast. So yeah, it's like that. So I
It's
can close it.
the second problem, or it's like additional problem.
What do you mean? Second problem here on our Excel session. I
Yeah,
sent you the setup, yeah?
yeah. I see it. It's just in front of my eyes. So it's like the same problem we have been solving on the fifth lecture, or it's another one.
Yes.
It's the same. Okay.
So now we will consider different different specification. So first question is, assume that there are legal restrictions which not allowed us to make the discrimination, so that we have the same price for buyers and so it's exercise session 4. So for first, we need to have the same prices for buyers and sellers, and let's assume the same costs. So can I think about some example?
Maybe some platform like I'm not sure about eBay. Maybe Avito. Like it doesn't really distinguish between buyers and sellers, so you just need to like enter, and that's it.
Unless you want to buy something. Yeah, actually, it's a bit tricky because if you want to sell several items in the same category, so you will need to buy a subscription as a seller.
Yeah, I see. I didn't know about that.
I tried once. So that I was thinking mostly about the Tinder, something like that. So then the sites are kind of the same.
And Tinder, I'm just not familiar. It is using like advertisement model.
I don't know. I think so.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I think what else they can do?
Yeah.
I think they have something like so you can buy some period, then you are on the top of I don't know. You're shown to more people,
Yeah.
but I
Okay.
don't know. So that what I don't know. I think that can come to any mind.
Yeah. Okay.
The first idea. So then we need to find the profit maximization price. So what was the profit of the platform? So if you're talking about first platform, for example, you remember? So we have buyers and sellers, and they have cost and subscription fee.
So it should be like M capital B minus C capital B multiplied by NB, and the same for sellers, the same component.
Yes,
Am I saying it correctly? Like component in the sum.
I think so.
Okay.
You can say term, so it's like first and second term in the sum.
Okay.
So, and then we know that costs and price are the same, so we can write so do you remember what was the number of buyers, for example?
After the maximization problem, right?
After the best response. So
Yeah.
what was the number after the best response to the prices? Yeah, so then we have to think about a different agent. So that was 1/2, right? So here was 2, and then tau s tau bars minus pu. And then on the top, we have
Yeah, I found it finally. Uh, it was like it's for bias.
am I right? Looks like.
Yes, you are right.
Yeah.
Yes, that was it.
So then for sellers, we can write just changing indexes. So that, yeah, number of first part agent on first platform. Instead of U, we will have P. Well, and then the question is, what
Sorry.
what
Yes.
if I
Mhm.
put them in the sum? So under our assumption that prices are equal for buyers and sellers and costs are the same. So it will be 1, right? And then plus we have 2 tau s tau buyers minus pu. And then difference of the prices will be just m2 minus m1, right? Because platforms are different, but no discrimination.
A second, still writing it down.
Hmm? Okay.
Okay. So again, we just say that M is the same, right?
And the same for buyers and sellers, but it could be different for platforms.
Yeah. So we are not losing this term completely, right?
Yes, so we have m2 minus m1, but that's what we have in sum. Here we have everything, right? Tau s plus tau b plus p plus u. Right. So then we can rewrite profit, right? So the profit of platform 1 is m1 minus c.
Shouldn't it be tau b somewhere? It's tau s, tau s.
Oh, yeah. So then we'll have this term here. So, and then we need to maximize this with respect to price one, right?
Mm,
So what we
Sorry,
need to take?
one question additional. So we yes, we assume that S is the same, right? For both.
You mean costs?
Yes. C.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cost
Yeah.
was the
Okay.
same initially from the in general platform. So I guess it is in your home task to consider different costs.
Yeah. Okay.
So what we get is this term, right? So I will not rewrite this, but we have, and then we have minus, right, the same term, and multiply by m1 minus m minus c, right? So I take this one as a, so that, and then equal to 0. Got it?
A second. And yeah, I can see the minus. Yes.
Mm-hmm. So then let me put everything to the right side and then multiply by this reverse ratio. So I'll have 2 tau s tau b minus pu divided by tau s plus tau b plus p plus u. And then on the other side, I have m1 minus c plus m1 and minus m2. So I have m1 equals to 1/2, and then I have c plus m2 plus this ratio. So please check me. I'll check myself as well.
Yes, I agree.
Should be like that. Okay. Then we can write the same for the second platform, right? And you can see that there will be no difference, right?
Maybe it should be M2.
Exactly. Yeah, because if you change indexes, it will be the same, and change p to u. No, actually, for second platform, yeah, it doesn't matter. It should be the same. Right. So then we can say that equations are similar. I mean, they are the same. So they can say that m1 equals m2 equals m. Yes, and actually, we in the task we should focus on symmetric equilibrium. Which means that they choose the same price. but it strictly follows from our exercise. So here we can just just delete this part, right? Because they are the same. So that we can cross one, so it will be just C plus 2 tau S tau B minus PU divided by tau S plus tau B plus P plus U. Yeah. So that's the answer for first question.
Where is 1/2? Ah, I see. We just deleted it. Yes.
Yeah, we delete two braces because they are equal.
Give me a second to look at it. Okay, and in this case, I have a question.
Yeah.
So we'll have the home task, and we won't have like. So no, let me formulate it. So if our M capitals they were not symmetric, right? If like we changed the indexes and P to U, and something has changed. So
No. P to U, you change, then you switch from buyers to sellers.
yeah, okay. So
When
just
you switch from platform, you need to change 1 to 2, index 1 to index 2.
okay, and
You
if
have,
Mhm.
huh?
and if I switch index from 1 to 2, from 2 to 1, and it isn't like, well, I just don't.
It's
So if I can switch the index, will that mean that my M capitals are similar or not?
so if you have the same equation, then yes.
Mhm.
So then you have just the difference that there are different indexes. But for example, if you will have here, I will use the green one. So if you have C1 here and C2 here, you will have not different equations, right? You will have different equations, right? If costs are different, then it's not the same equation. And you have to plug this here and then solve it.
I see. So the thing is that why are they similar? Because like the coefficient between M is the same in both cases. So in both cases, M1, M1 is equal to something plus 1/2 of M2, and M2 is
Yeah.
equal to something plus 1/2 of M1. If it's not true, then
Yeah, if this something is the same, so then they are the same.
I see.
Right.
And if this something isn't, then they're not.
Yes.
Okay.
So then the next question is we need to show that it's profitable to implement price discrimination if the following holds. Well, what does it mean, profitable?
Sorry, I didn't get your question.
So then the question is next one, so the second. So show that it is profitable to implement price discrimination if the following holds. My question, what does it mean profitable?
Mm,
So what we need to calculate?
we need to calculate the platform's profit, and if a new platform's profit is greater than the old platform's profit, it's profitable for the platform.
Yes, exactly. So what is the profit if we have no price discrimination, so that the price is the same? So you remember it was M1 buyers minus C N buyers, and then it will be plus M sellers minus costs and sellers. Now we have the same prices, so we have M minus C multiplied by N buyers plus N sellers. And in symmetric case, it will be what? What will be in symmetric case?
It will be just 2n multiplied by m minus c.
Now it will be just M minus C. Because you have agents distributed on interval from 0 to 1, and if half of them goes to one platform, half of them to another platform, then it's half of the sellers and half of the buyers. It's just 1/2 and 1/2.
Yeah. So I said that it will be like 2n, but each n is equal to 1/2. So yeah, okay.
So we can go here, and if prices are the same, this is just 0, right?
Yes, it's the easiest case, I guess.
So this is no discrimination profit. So, and what is the profit then we have discrimination? Let me check.
It's like what we discussed earlier.
Yes, so we have this bars. And then we have 1 plus these 2 tau s tau bars minus pu. Then I forgot what was there. Tau s, yeah. Tau s m bars 2 minus m bars 1. And then plus u, was it u?
Is it this? I thought it's like m2 minus m1 and all that multiplied by. Yes, okay. It's under the. No, I'm lost.
So it's number of buyers. I forgot 1/2, right? So here. And then I have number of price for sellers.
Sorry, where to look to? Yeah, I see. So you just took the initial formula for profit, and after that,
yes,
plug in ends, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's say that price discrimination is allowed for platforms, but they're still symmetric platforms. What we can expect?
Second, writing down.
Yes, so that will be zeros. So this is 0, and this is 0. as well. This is 0 as well, because for same side, for buyers and for sellers, it will be symmetric case. So that platform will do the same in equilibrium. So in equilibrium, the price will be, yes, so 1/2 we can put out, and it's buyers minus costs for buyers, and then plus sellers minus cost for sellers, right? And this is exactly the formula which we have. So the second side, so the profit, if you have no discrimination, that was M minus C, and that's supposed to be less than 1/2 price for buyers minus cost for buyers, and then plus price for sellers minus cost for sellers. Yeah, so that's to profit. It's no discrimination, so that's price discrimination. Yeah, questions here?
Yes. Could you please show a little bit up? Yeah, here. It's 0 because why? because
Because
why?
the platforms are symmetric, so that you have difference between buyers and sellers, but you don't have difference between platforms. So that means for buyers, the platforms will do the same, like the first and second platform will do the same for buyers, as well as the platforms will do the same for sellers. So we now have difference between sellers and buyers, but we don't have difference between platform 1 and platform 2.
And okay, so we have difference between sellers and buyers, but not between platforms. And in the first case, when no price discrimination, we just
There was no difference for buyers and sellers, as well.
So platforms are like symmetric and biases and sellers. Okay.
Yeah. So the last question is, assume that U minus P is substantially larger than tau S minus tau buyers in norm. Should the platform's price discriminate or not?
Sorry, before we move to the third question, the second one. So we just calculated the non discriminated profit, the profit under the discrimination. Well,
yes, and compare them.
Yes, and compare them, and got just the restriction which was given to us.
Yes.
So how will the answer sound? That if the profit under discrimination is larger than the profit without discrimination, this restriction will hold like that?
So the question is, show that if it is profitable to implement price discrimination, which means discriminate and use the price discrimination strategy, so the following holds. So that means so it's profitable because you always can not discriminate, right? So then the profit of price discrimination is supposed to be greater than no discrimination.
Yeah, okay.
So then, but you can see that on left side you have just price minus cost, and everyone who joined pays this, right? That's why you have nothing, just this. So multiply by 1. On the right side, you have with average 1/2, price minus cost for buyers plus price minus cost for sellers. And you know that half of the agents will join one platform and half of the agents will join another platform. So 1/2 is kind of the weight of those who join, and it's the same for buyers and sellers because we have symmetric platforms. So you kind of it's your profit. So you can see why it's so, right?
Yes, it's clear to me now. Thank you.
Okay, then let's move to third question. So the question is, should the platform price discriminate or not? Again, we are thinking about profits. So then we need to choose to discriminate or not. We need to compare the profit of price discrimination and price and no discrimination. You remember from previous point that price of no discrimination or profit of no discrimination is just price minus cost. So we need to plug in our price from the first part. We already calculated it, right? So let's go back. So we calculated optimal price. It's costs plus this term.
Yes.
So we can plug it. So costs will gone. You have just 2 tau s tau buyers minus pu. It is p plus u plus tau s plus tau buyers. And what is your condition is you have u minus p is substantially larger, and then tau s minus tau b. Well, now let's calculate the profit of price discrimination. We already know this is 1/2 price for sellers minus cost of sellers plus price of buyers minus cost of buyers. Yeah, do you remember the price of sellers and price of buyers from the lecture, which we calculated?
It was during the last lecture, right?
Right.
After the midterm. It was actually pretty simple. So it's just well, M capital I is equal to C capital I plus tau I minus U.
So that was for sellers, it was minus
Minus U.
Yes, and for buyers it will be
Minus P.
minus p. Yeah, so then we just plug this into our formula. So let's see. So we see that costs are gone. So that's it will be 1/2, and what is inside is tau s minus u plus tau b minus p. Yeah.
Yes.
So then we can need to compare two tau s tau b minus pu. divided by tau s plus tau b plus p plus u with 1/2 tau s minus u plus tau b minus p. So then let's open everything. So it will be 2, sorry, not 4, right? Tau s tau b minus pu. And then on the right side we will have so it can be written as, let me show you. So here tau s plus tau b minus u plus p, and here they have the same with plus, right? So then you multiply them, you will get tau s plus tau b squared
Will I?
minus u plus p squared. Right?
Give me a second.
Формула разница квадратов. Formula. Because you have here
Yeah. I can see
a
it.
plus b, there a minus b.
Yes, it's a tricky one.
So we have 4 tau s tau b minus p 4 pu, and then on the right side you have tau s squared plus 2 tau s tau b plus tau b squared, and then we have the same u squared minus u squared minus 2 pu plus p squared. So then let's do this kind of, so I will take 4 tau s tau b and put it to the right side, and then I will take everything.
I guess the last one should have a negative sign.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, so it's negative. Yeah, then I put it to the left, it will be positive. Right. So I got u squared minus 2 pu, because it will be cancelled for 2, and then it will be p squared. So here is, we don't know what is larger. And then on the right side we have tau s squared minus 2 tau s tau b plus tau b squared. And you can see what is this, right? So this is u minus p squared, and this is tau s minus tau b squared. Yeah, and the question is, what is larger? And we know that tau s minus tau b in norm is substantially lower, I guess. So what was, yeah, so this was substantially larger.
Well, it really depends on the norm, but I guess they should just have the same sign.
Oh, so since we have squared there, so it's kind of the same, right?
Yes.
So it's like model.
Is it ABC, or is it like the norm? Because norm could be not only ABC.
Yeah, I think it's first. So
Okay. In this case, yes, it's easier. Because if we take the square root, we'll have just this.
yeah. So then, so on the left side we have something substantially larger. So that means that what was on the left side? On the left side was the price, no discrimination of the price, right?
Yes, and we haven't multiplied by minus, so
Yep.
we haven't switched sides.
So no discrimination is the answer.
So it's just not profitable to
Yeah.
to implement discrimination, price discrimination.
Okay, any questions here?
I guess not.
Okay, then that's it for today. And maybe you have some question about home task or something else.
Well, home task, it just looks a little bit scary. Looks like it will take some decent time to calculate.
Not really, it's just a lot of words to be clear that you have everything to solve it.
Yeah, okay. But basically, it is based on what we have done, but just with some
Sure.
modifications.
So there are one complicated question in the end, and you have to think about the different costs and different prices for this problem. So then you have two platforms and they compete with prices. But what you need just to derive best response and then plug it into each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and if
And
Mhm.
yeah.
and if we'll have some questions in the process, is it better to write you on mail via mail?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, okay.
It's a better way.
And just another question. You mentioned about the meeting, so I guess what date will it be? I just forgot to tell my peers, and I assume that they might not be aware of it. Let's say so. Or
So I
we'll get
think
there.
it will be next Thursday. So it will be 15th of December.
Okay. Thank you. I will tell them, especially Tanya and Otebek, I guess.
I will send a mail of invitation anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, see you next week.
Yes. See you. Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.